Hi everyone, my name is Julie. This is Keep Calm with Books and Coffee. I talk about books on this channel, mainly books about magic, and if you would like to see more of that, you can hit the subscribe button down below. And today we are going to be doing the Christmas song book tag. Hello everyone, and I don't know about you, but I have been sneaking in Christmas music for a few weeks now, like well before Thanksgiving. I am just feeling like I need a little joy in my life, so I have been sneaking in a little bit of Christmas music here and there, and now it is like fully the season. I do work in retail, so like I definitely have my times where I have to turn it off, but this tag seemed like a fun one to do at the beginning of the month here. This is from Haley in Bookland, and there's a bunch of questions here, and this is a tag that has been around for a while, so I will have Haley linked down below along with one of her iterations of the tag. But today I am really excited to do this because I love Christmas music and I can't wait to answer these questions. Number one is "You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch," and for this the question is name a villainous character that you couldn't help but love. And this took me a little while to come up with because like villains are like, all of the villains I could think of are like villainous and I don't love them at all. But I kind of came up with Edwin from the Truth Witch series by Susan Dennard. He is a somewhat villainous character. I think he's a little more complex than that, but he definitely comes across as a villain. And I am really excited to reread this series. This has been on my mind consistently lately, so I think I'm going to start a reread in the new year because I really want to get back into this world and eat it all up again. But Edwin is my character choice for this one. Number two is "All I Want for Christmas Is You," and for this it is which book do you most hope to see under your Christmas tree? And for this I'm actually thinking of something I have already read, and it is The Murder of Mr. Wickham by Claudia Gray. I read this earlier in 2024 and I absolutely adored it, and it really took me by surprise. I thought it was going to be something that I read and liked, but maybe not something that was really going to grab my attention, but instead it is something that I have just blown through each installment and had to keep reading and really enjoyed. Like almost, I think all of them have been 5 stars. The first one might have been 4, but I want to get these on my shelves, so I am looking to pick these up sometime in the new year, but it would be great if I got it as a Christmas gift as well. Number 3 is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Name a character that overcomes major obstacles and learns to believe in themselves. For this one, I am choosing Zetienne from The Iron Widow by Jiren J. Zhao. This is the story of Zetienne as she overcomes so many things: her terrible family, the patriarchal and like misogynistic like government system, several people who try to stop her. She just overcomes obstacle over obstacle in order to get to where she wants and needs to be, and I love watching her do it. This is such a female rage-filled book and it is such an excellent one. So this book has been on my brain and I can't wait to read the second one. But yes, Zetienne comes over so many things in order to accomplish her goals and do what she wants and what she needs to do. Number 4 is Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which is a 2-part question of which character do you think would be at the top of the nice list and on the top of the naughty list. On the top of the nice list, I think we can all put Nick Nelson from Heartstopper. Nick is a absolute golden retriever of a character. He is wonderful. I love him so much and love this series so much. So he is definitely on the top of the nice list. Then I can't exactly tell you why for spoilery reasons, but Luke from A Nobleman's Guide to Seducing a Scoundrel by K.J. Charles would be at the top of the naughty list. He is a scoundrel. And yeah, he's absolutely the problem in this book, and I would put him at the top of that list. Cole all year. Number 5 is Frosty the Snowman, and for this one you're going to choose a book that melts your heart, and for this I'm going to choose The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Bandana. This is a very sweet, lovely, warm book, and I love this. This book is like a warm hug. It's so excellent. The characters are wonderful. The development of the story is wonderful. I just loved this until you get to the end. I did want to melt because it is so sweet and loving and kind, and I love it so much. Then we have It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year. Which holiday themed book do you use to spread Christmas joy? And for this, I have to choose The Mistletoe Motive by Chloe Leese. I need to reread this. I'm so glad this question came up because I love this. This is a cute little novella. In this, we follow a pair of bookshop employees who are working at a failing bookstore where the main characters end up creating a competition to see which one of them can sell more, and if whoever sells more gets to stay and work at the shop. And it is a delightful little novella. It like rips my heart apart and puts it back together every time. Like, I get so attached to these characters each time I read it. I love it. I have such a good time reading it. I'm talking myself into rereading it like tonight, and I don't have time to do that. So this one's so much fun, and I love it to pieces. I really like Chloe Leese's writing. The only critique I have about this is that I wish we had both characters' perspectives in this. We only have one, and I do love to see both characters' perspectives. Then we have Sleigh Ride, and it is which fictional character would you choose to spend the holidays with, not necessarily romantically, just overall. And for this, I think I would choose Kate from A Dark and Secret Magic by Wallace Kennedy, because I just read this over the Halloween, like, Samhain holiday, and it was so festive and full of these like really bright, wonderful Halloween feels, and I feel like Kate would do Yule just as well. So I would love to spend, the holiday in her traditions and her like witchy vibes, because it was such a atmospheric book. It really drew me into that like setting. So I think this would be an incredible setting for a holiday story as well. Then we have Baby, It's Cold Outside. Which book that you didn't like would you sacrifice to the fire to keep yourself warm? And I'm not going to stand up to get it. It's right up there. It's Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I threw this book across the room. I was mad at it. I'm still a little mad at it. So I think that's the one that comes immediately to my mind, even though I didn't hate it. It's just the one that I had the most wild ride with, from enjoying it to then not liking it and then wanting to throw it across the room, then actually throwing it across the room. So I think my frustration with it makes me choose that particular book. Then we have Do You Hear What I Hear? What book do you think everyone should read? And I am just gonna keep pushing God Killer on literally everyone until they read it. This is a high fantasy following Kissin, who is a God Killer, and she teams up with a bunch of other characters who have their own goals and quests in order to try and separate a god from a little girl who are entwined together and cannot be separated without pain to them both. But she is a god killer, so she wants to remove the god from the child, and we go on an adventure to do that. I love this book. I love it so much. I love the setting. I love the themes. I love the world building and the magic and the gods and our characters themselves. I have loved the first two books, and I cannot wait for the third book to be released. And I just want everyone to give this a shot. Number 11 is Where Are You Christmas? And I didn't plan this because I didn't look at these questions ahead of time, but the question is a book you want immediately that isn't out yet. And the book at the top of that list is Faithbreaker by Hannah Canner, which comes out next year. It's the third and final book in the God Killer trilogy, and I want it so badly. I can't wait. I am looking forward to rereading the first two books at the beginning of next year in order to prepare and like get ready for that last book, and it's at the top of my list. I can't say anything else. Then we have Last Christmas, which is a book you started out loving but didn't end up liking, and I'm actually going to choose Graveyard Shift by ML Rio for this, because although I didn't start out loving it, I started out loving the premise and the idea of it, and like going in with the full expectation that I was really going to enjoy this. And even when I started it, finding it really interesting and finding the setup and the characters really fascinating, and then just getting to the point where I was really frustrated and then not liking the ending at all. And the longer I think about it, the more I dislike it. So this is one that has stuck with me in a bad way. Then we have Blue Christmas, name a book that made you cry. And for this, I'm choosing the book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. This is a really beautiful book that takes place in Germany during World War II, in which we're following Liesel, who has moved in with some adoptive parents, and she starts learning to read and then collecting books, and this is her story. And the narrator of this book is Death, and he is, as you can imagine, quite busy during World War II. And this is an incredible story. I'm getting choked up just thinking about it. And it's wonderful. It's a beautiful book. So many people have talked very eloquently about how wonderful this book is, and it made me cry. It was one of the first audiobooks that I listened to like as a tandem read, and I found the advantage of doing that was that I could listen to the end of the book while I was crying. So this is definitely a book that has made me cry. The last prompt is Marshmallow World, name a fluffy book, and for this I'm going to choose The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. This is a very cozy fantasy standalone in which we're following a character who, she's a very introverted person. She takes care of books in a library, and when her library and city are under attack, she returns to her home island that she and her parents left years ago and starts kind of just trying to make her own way in the world. It's very cozy, it's very sweet, it has very like calm vibes. Nothing is going to, really stress you out in this book. Overall, it's just a pretty easy, fluffy ride to the end, and I really enjoyed it, and I would definitely recommend it. But those were the 14 prompts from the Christmas song book tag, which made me really happy to answer. It reminded me of all these like wonderful Christmas songs, so I need to now I'm in the mood for Christmas music. But thank you so much for watching. If you have any thoughts or feelings or want to share anything about the books that I talked about today, please let me know down below, or let me know your favorite Christmas song if you aren't feeling too chatty, or leave me a note emoji for music. But that is it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.